Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you on this Daily Hindu Analysis video in the morning. These videos come in the evening, the MCQ lessons they come, and the compilations are important. I put many additional details and some questions in the PDF too, so please access the PDF and go through all the text daily for both the lessons. So 19th of September it is. Some discussed issues and related articles regarding that, and Pocket News app is trending on Google Play. You can download that. Regarding these courses, the description is given below the video and you can call on these numbers, and the chat section is available here. You can get the PDF on this Facebook group, and the Telegram channels link you will also find there, and you can follow me on Instagram too. Some words, some idioms and phrases I found today and use them into sentences. Now Stanley Johnny's article, important article. Stanley Johnny always writes. It is the issue of US-Iran problem. Many angles we discussed and many issues we have taken into much detail in the past. So these are similar issues, but the angle which is there means the comparison between the Obama administration and the Trump administration, and obviously some inefficiencies are being felt now. And when people are comparing these two systems, means the Obama system and the Trump system, then obviously some problems they look more with the present establishment. Now Stanley Johnny said that the issue of unpredictability that's going on in its iconic way, and someday Trump announces something, someday he tweets about something, and things are much more unpredictable in the way. Now Mr. Javad Zarif, the foreign minister of Iran, he gave a response at this issue that unpredictability is chaotic, and one nation becomes unpredictable and the other will also become unpredictable. So unpredictability will lead to mutual unpredictability and it's chaotic. Now many things are happening and Iran is also upping all the antes there. Yesterday's issue, when we discussed the Saudi Aramco's issue and the attack, and the blame is shifted on Iran by America, and consistently this thing is being felt. And you see, Al Houthis, as I explained to you yesterday, Al Houthis are also Iran supported in a way because both are Shia groups. So the connection remains there, and it is also giving some evidences. These are big evidences that Iran is not that much weak as they are posing it, and Iran has strong regional connections, alliances, and it can create problems for these rivals or maybe these enemies like America there. And till the time Iran is strong in this area, there is no security for the enemies, their establishments, their assets, and something like that. You see, all countries and the world who is dependent on Saudi Arabia's oil exports, they thought that these are very safe and secure, but now a huge revelation is there, and it's this is a kind of a exposed security issue of Saudi Arabia that it cannot protect, and even the most important economic assets are at threat, then it cannot protect its borders also. Because if your most important assets are attacked like this, and you are not able to do anything about that, and you do not have that kind of sophistication to protect yourself, means all things are at risk. So this thing has exposed Saudi Arabia too, and Saudi Arabia is also a kind of a staunch enemy for Iran because Shia-Sunni conflict is there. Saudi Arabia is a Sunni state and Iran is a Shia state. So that's the issue. Now when Trump unilaterally pulled out of this Jack Poa deal, then only all these problems started, because he thought he actually mishandled this issue and he could not come up with a proper measurement of the problem. He thought that Obama made it possible, so I will do a better thing, and everywhere where we have seen that whatever Obama did, Trump is gonna cancel that out, because it is all a egoistic political way and a kind of a glorification that today's leaders they want, and these numbers are huge for those kind of leaders who want that glory, who want that image like a king, who want that kind of power in their hand, that all power, all authorities are centered in their hands, and they believe less in cooperation, and they believe more in their own image and their own power in their hands. So these things are evident, and as Obama in his farewell speech was talking about Mr. Trump, and he openly said that it is not a club party, it's a country, and you cannot manage that, stay out of this race. But instead of that, Trump won the election and he became the president of United States of America. Now the issues which were predictable about Trump, now they are coming up all in open, and the inefficiencies are also well observed. In this case of Iran, when Obama made this thing possible anyhow, and his way was very much professional, and the strategy was way more better. It is also apparently clear now, because Trump tried more pressure tactics and he jumped towards those sanctions and all. Means the highest measure that could have been used, he used that tactic, and that's why it all backfired. Because Trump thought that when Obama made this deal possible, then I can go for a better one and I can create more pressure there, and I will directly go for economic sanctions and all, and it is all my charisma, and you will see that Iran will come to its knees. But he miscalculated Iran here, and Iran is a proud country. They will never go to a phase where they have to kneel down before Mr. Trump, and that's why it's all a huge problem. This deal, the jackpot deal, was signed between the P5 countries and Iran plus the European Union. So Iran had many hopes that these other signatories, apart from America, they are going to help here to fix this deal. But they all remained mere spectators, and they did not do much about fixing this deal, because America's unilateral withdrawal from this deal, that all created a huge problem for Iran, and it is all cornered there. Although these European countries, they submitted their protest and they said that we are not on the same page, but you see, not much was done according to Iran's wishes, and that's why Iran is becoming more and more aggressive now. And many evidences we have that these ships which were captured in this Strait of Hormuz, oil tankers owned by Norway, Saudi Arabia, Japan, and the UK flagged ship that was captured. So these all are evidences that Iran is now upping the ante. And now this Saudi Aramco's attack, and these attacks are more sophisticated, daunting of its kind, and in this Gulf region they are proving something, that we are the strongest one in this Gulf region, and Saudi Arabia's defense systems, they are worthless, and they cannot be protected. Even the American support is there. So this issue is apparently clear. And the Yemen war is also a big evidence that Iran's might cannot be taken lightly, because Saudi Arabia is bound to accept this thing, that it cannot win the war with Al-Houthis, and which are the Shia groups supported by Iran. So many evidences are there. Okay. And yesterday when we were discussing that Israel and Pakistan, they are about to establish their diplomatic ties, means they are discussing that issue, but that thing is not easily possible. The Iran issue is there. Israel want to corner Iran in all possible ways, but Pakistan will not up the ante with Iran there, because Iran is not a small country, and it has its might, and nukes are also there. So in the end we can say Mr. Trump failed to foresee the magnitude of the Iran's resistance, and it was a condition where this miscalculation led to this problematic and stuck phase, where America cannot go for open war and Iran will not come to its knees. And when Trump started putting maximum pressure, it all backfired there. Okay, so that's the case. And regarding the Saturday's attack, Iran has sent an indirect message across the world that no oil facility or tanker is safe in the Gulf region as long as Iran is not allowed to trade its oil. because America has put sanctions, and all countries they have withdrawn their oil supplies from Iran. Even we have lowered our amount which we are importing from Iran. So these things are really affecting Iran economically, and a huge problem is there for that country because it's a major supplier. And one more issue that is very concerning, and that shows the lack of experience and inability of Mr. Trump. Obama administration was very much aware of this situation, that there are hardliners, Islamists in Iranian regime, and things and power should not go in their hands, and any issue should not be in the favor of the hardliners, because after a long time it has been possible there in Iran that hardliners are not much in power there. They were there, and there were many issues. Now the democratic government was going on, and anyhow they made this thing possible, the jackpot possible. So they kept these hardliners at the edge. Now when Trump is taking these kind of decisions, and they are trying to corner Iran, other countries are not helping to fix the deal, then Iran is cornered, and there are serious security concerns for Iran. And one thing must be clear here: if any country is cornered and security issues are there, then for sure in that country strong ideologies will rule people's mind. The military might and the courage of the soldiers and all, and their strength issues, they will be highlighted a lot. And always in these times those kind of ideologies will flourish, which are hardliners, which are talking conservatively, and the liberalism that will go away out of the window. So this kind of things are happening in Iran, and certainly some things are going in the hands of our hardliners there. And these attacks, the Saudi Aramco attack, is telling that these kind of things are very much possible in the future, and it looks like the thinking of hardliners that is being executed here. And when Iran has decided that we are ready to face any kind of situation. You see, in 1967 Israel captured Sinai Peninsula, and it was a part of Egypt first, then it was taken by Israel. Then again Egypt started, it launched a Yom Kippur war with Israel in 1973 because it wanted this Sinai Peninsula back. Now it was a situation where Israel was proved to be the best in the region, the most powerful one, but still Egypt bravely started this war, and then they came to a particular position where they had to settle the issue, and Sinai Peninsula was given back to Egypt. Now similar kind of situation is here, and Iran has said this thing very clearly, that we will not compromise here, and we want the sanctions relief, but we will not surrender totally to American demands there, and any kind of pressurized deal will not be possible, where it may lead to any situation, but we will not care about that. So this is something really problematic, and things going in the favor of hardliners is not a good thing for this world, because this world has seen many consequences in the past. But still, if things are developing in this way, that means America's decision making is all exposed. And it looks like in Syria it was exposed that America cannot do things according to its wish. In Afghanistan also, this thing is apparently clear that the decisions are not something that America wished for. And here again in this Iran issue, things are going in a way where you cannot say that it is all America's way that is executed, and America is going according to its wish. It is making compromises for sure, because Iran has upped the ante here. And the regional alliances of Iran, they are problematic there. You see, in Lebanon it has support there, and in the Jordan also, in Syria also Iran is active. So Israel has many problems with Iran in those regions. That's why we can say that Iran has presence, whether we talk about the south region of Yemen, sorry, the north region of Yemen there, or in these countries like Syria and Lebanon. So Iran is not that much weak, that's for sure. Here if we compare the Obama administration, then what Obama did, Obama consolidated the international opinion and it got both allies and partners on his side, and then they went for UN recognized sanctions. It was not like Trump's sanctions. They went for UN recognized sanctions, and they actually cornered Iran in a sophisticated way, in a professional way, not professional, but you can say in a strategic way. So then they offered the olive branch of talks, and that's why it was a sane way to discuss things, and that's why this thing became possible, that they went for this deal, and that was the most important deal in history between Iran and America. But it was not well understood by Mr. Trump, and he thought that more pressure I can make here and I will come up with a better deal there. That was a kind of a disaster that which Obama did there. So he went against all the decisions of Mr. Obama, whether it is TPP, whether it is the climate commitments and all, and whether regarding these troops management in these war areas, Afghanistan, Syria there, or the Obamacare, or this Iran deal, most importantly. So Obama carefully avoided anything that could have strengthened the hands of the hardliners within the complex Iranian regime. But Trump is not efficiently managing this, and things are going in favor of hardliners there, and it may be a bigger problem for America in the near future. That's for sure. Here he is using a issue from the movie Dark Knight, the 2008 movie, where the city of Gotham was the situation, and all these gang leaders had established some sort of order. Means the order was there, and then the Joker came, and the Joker set the city on fire. There Joker was a hero of that movie, but not, you cannot say hero, but the center of attention and the mass following was there for the Joker character. But here the writer is giving a reference of the Joker for Mr. Trump, obviously. So that's the issue, and he has actually set issues on fire, and he is not able to manage that. Next article, a self-inflicted economic slowdown. Here Pooja Mehra's article. Pooja Mehra recently wrote an article regarding the demonetization, and she submitted all the data in Hindu article regarding the demonetization exercise, and Arvind Modi was the bureaucrat who had made an important report that was not released, and those details were released in the Hindu article by Pooja Mehra, and that created a lot of sensation because it exposed a lot of issues of demonetization. Here again she is naming some bureaucrats who have given important recommendations to the Modi government there, and she says that many recommendations since 2015 they are eating dust in the offices, and those were not implemented, they were heavily ignored. And at that time many experts said that this is not the way to run the system, and surely we will have problems, big economic problems in the future. And those similar things, those similar speculations, those similar fears are all apparently clear in front of us today. After demonetization, many problems were amounting, and today what are the situations? First, the government was denying all these things. Now they are bound to accept all these issues, and now some blame shifting is happening. So they are bound to recognize that slowdown is there, and the problems are really huge, and we may go into a crisis-like situation very soon. So these all things were well discussed, and these all things were well speculated 2-3 years back, and today we are having all these issues. So she's saying that the role of bureaucracy is extremely important. We always criticize bureaucracy, we always put these blames on the bureaucracy, that these people are corrupt, these are inefficient, and they create hindrances for all these issues and all. So it is not 100% a truth, and here many recommendations were given before demonetization exercise, before GST exercise, before the July 5th budget this year, and regarding many issues. And since 15, bureaucrats have been giving these advices and important recommendations, but these things went unheeded, and the government ignored all these things, and that's why we are in a position today. So this is something the writer is talking about, but these things will become political, and not much is there to discuss here in this issue. but you should read this article for sure, because you are preparing for the UPSC examination, and here the role of bureaucracy and how they adopt some ways, how they recommend to the government, what is the role, what is the connection between the bureaucracy and the government, how do they work there. So this is very important for you people, and it will create a lot of understanding issues in your preparation. Okay, so you must be going through this text here. I have highlighted these important lines, and please go through that. Okay, next issue regarding Nigeria, the most populous country of African continent. On 21st of August, Nigeria crossed an important milestone in the eradication of polio there. You see, India is polio free, and for many years now we are polio free, and our last case was around 7 to 8 years back. Since then we do not have any polio case there. So type 1 and type 3, these are the common wild polio virus issues. Those are not reported for the last 3 years in Nigeria, and very soon WHO is gonna recognize this country as a polio free state. Last case of type 1 wild polio virus was there in Nigeria in August 16, and that was also incidental because Borneo state is going through a kind of a insurgency phase for the last 10 years, and that's why all problems are there. Children are not vaccinated well, and that's why they had this case in August 16. That means it's still present there in the environment, and they were about to declare Nigeria in 2015 a polio free state, but this 2016 case became a problem again, and it was a kind of a setback there. Now again after 3 years they are gonna officially announce this issue. So it's a great achievement by a developing country. You see, when a country comes out of the least developed category group towards a developing category, the first and major challenge is the health challenge. The things change, mortality rate, birth rates, they go for a big change there. Health facilities, they grow in that country, and they meet many challenges there. So if they overcome this issue, this hurdle, then obviously they are on a progressive track. Obviously very smoothly they will sail. So it's a kind of a important milestone for Nigeria country, the most populous country there, and we have great relations for decades now. Today, the wild polio virus is endemic only in 2 countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. That's so shameful, but it is really a problematic thing for India also, because it is our region. And in Pakistan, 62 cases were reported, and 16 cases were reported from Afghanistan. So it's not something to be happy about. It is something to be concerned about, because these cases are there, means children will be at threat in the local region, and Indian states will certainly be at risk, because it is present there in the environment. So if the virus is present there in the environment, means it may become active again. So the consistent vaccination is important. If we talk about vaccination, then the measles issue is going on. I will ask questions again on measles in the evening lesson. I have asked many questions in the past, and again this issue is highlighted, and yesterday we had this article, and measles is a vaccine preventable disease. But if the vaccines are not given, then these are fatal issues for kids, and kids under 5 age group. So this is all a problem, because the vaccine stocks are not sufficient, and then this problem is rising, and it has taken a very dangerous shape there, and in European countries too. So that's why vaccines are so important. And here with the help of vaccines for the 15 years campaign, we won this war and we became polio free. But still the problems are there. And you see the type 2 case. Type 2 case means the oral polio vaccine which was given. Some cases were reported that due to the oral polio vaccine, where the inactive virus was used, that virus became virulent, and that created the disease in many kids, and due to that many kids lost their lives. And these kind of cases are still there in Nigeria, and they were reported in 1 or 2 number in India also, I think. So that's why there were some changes there in the vaccine also. Okay, so those do not matter if we talk about announcing a country a polio free. So this will not be a problem, because type 2 will not be a problem. Only the type 1 and type 3 is important in announcing a country as polio free, because that is not due to any wild polio virus, that is due to the faulty vaccine there. So that can be managed, but still the problem remains, and still 60,000 kids in Nigeria, they remain unvaccinated, because the Borneo state, the northeast state there, the insurgency is going on, and that's why it's a difficult thing. But how do they make it possible? The creative strategy was that they trained the military personnel which are deployed heavily in the conflict areas, so they used those personnel only. So they vaccinated 80% of kids, and that's why they won this war. So this is a great thing. In India also we see these kind of examples, that the military is huge in India, and these personnel, they are trained in multiple ways, and they help always. So they helped Nigeria too, and today they are at a stage that things will be less problematic for the country, because one war they have won. Issue is important for GS paper 2 and 3, international issue and the health issue. Next article is well discussed. We will not give time to this, but go through it once, and you will revise some things here. I have given you 2 important questions based on the fake news issue and the problematic media issues and all, and you can write that. Very, very important questions these are. Next, cabinet approves ban on e-cigarettes. I asked you questions. I discussed this issue in March also. This ends issue, electronic nicotine delivery system. Issue is that nicotine is still there in e-cigarettes. Many researchers, they proved this thing, and that is why we have put a complete ban on this e-cigarette uses. Although the conventional cigarettes, they will be sold as usual with all these depictions of pictures and all, but e-cigarette we have banned here. So the first time violators, they will invite imprisonment of 1 year along with the penalty of 1 lakh rupees, and the second timers or the repeaters, they will invite 5 lakh rupees of fine, and the imprisonment of up to 3 years. So that will be a stringent move here, and 16 states and 1 union territory have already banned these e-cigarettes. Okay, and many researches were done by Indian researchers and foreign researchers also, because in the starting it came as an alternative of cigarettes, and they said that it is way more safer, but it proved to be way dangerous than that, and it is as dangerous as the conventional cigarette is, and the nicotine fumes and other polycyclic hydrocarbons are present in the smoke, and these are equally dangerous there. And recently one more revelation was there, that the hookahs and all which people use, those are also dangerous. They create many lungs problems, and they can be responsible for some cancer issues also. Okay, so that's really dangerous. Next, regarding the SBI's teaser loan, I will ask you some questions in the evening, and I will stop here. Let's meet in the evening MCQ lesson. Important issues we are going to discuss there, and keep visiting these lessons. And thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Saring.